Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. I am doing yet another video using this absolutely stunning mold from Molds and Shapes. You would have seen it in my very first proper Halloween video where I made the apothecary bottles. We're using it again in this video. This is their 9-segment pendant mold. They are gorgeous, chunky, they are deep, they are beautiful, and each and every one are exactly the same size, measuring approximately 5.5 centimeters across. Totally perfect for chunky keychains, or even better, massive pendants. Now, trigger warning for anyone who's upset by the images of spiders. I'm using some clip art tattoo spiders here, so if you are upset by spiders, this might not be the video for you, but if you're okay with images of graphic spiders, not real, then continue watching. I am using these temporary tattoos. Now, here's the thing. I said in a previous video that the kind of bright Halloween colours of orange, white, purple, those cutesy colours are not really my vibe. I'm definitely more of a macabre purple and black. However, I'm going outside of my comfort zone just to have some fun with these tattoos because they're so fun. The resin I'm using in this video is the Craft Resin. This is their normal resin for coaster depth. So of course your Craft Resin discount code is in the description box below. Go check them out if you haven't. And I've mixed up quite a lot. My plan here, really and truly guys, was just to have fun. This is definitely not my kind of normal resin, if you know what I mean. I'm not used to using such bright colors at Halloween, but I think when I got these tattoos, they really do call for more of the fun side of Halloween, more of that cutesy than the dark side. Or the dark side. So here you see me just mixing up some resin, and I've separated it out into 3 cups. We're using orange mica powder. Any colour will do. We're using purple mica powder, and we're using the white Vista pigment. Now this is a beautiful pigment. You guys will have seen me use this many times. I use their black and white actually a lot. So we've got 2 with mica, 1 with an opaque paste, just to see what differences it makes, what it all looks like. And I'm doing 3 of each colour. Now, if you are interested in anything like this, I do have a whole section down below in my Amazon storefronts just for tattoos, So honestly, if you're new here, if you've never seen me before, I do love using temporary tattoos in resin. They work a dream, and they're often quite a much cheaper alternative to buying foils or creating your own something on the Cricut design space. Yeah, they're kind of like a cheap, fast alternative. Now, the hardest part was choosing a design. I didn't really know, apart from spiders, I knew that, but I didn't really know what I wanted on each one. Now, you would have seen there, I did actually spritz all of these with some 99% isopropyl alcohol before leaving them to cure fully overnight. So this is 24 hours later. Now, I do have this stash of temporary tattoos, and I did remember that I had bats, so I grabbed those as well because I thought they would be fun, whereas the rest were a little bit, well, they just weren't Halloween. Loads and loads of butterflies and so many flowers, but I grabbed the bats, and I'm going to use predominantly spiders and spider webs because that's just fun. It's so fun. Now, what you do, where you put them is entirely up to you. All I was really doing was making sure that they fit. As long as they fit, we are good to go. The one thing to remember about temporary tattoos is to remove the protective clear plastic film before you turn them upside down and place them down in your resin. Now, again, if you are new here, if you are new to resin, like I say, temporary tattoos do work perfectly in resin, but if you accidentally leave that protective film on there, then unfortunately it's just game over for your tattoo. It will stick to the protective film and you probably won't be able to get it off, or you probably can somehow, but it's faff. No one likes faff. Again, just placing them down. They are temporary tattoos for skin as well. So again, if you're new here, they are perfect for the skin. That's what they're designed for, but they do work perfectly with epoxy resin. My big concern on this project was the purple. Now, the purple is a stunning shade, but the black tattoos. I was just really worried that we wouldn't necessarily be able to see the black tattoos against the purple, because I just felt like it was a tad too dark. Maybe if I went with a pale lilac kind of purple, I think it would have given us better results when it comes to physically seeing the tattoos. Whereas black against white, black against orange, we all know that is gonna pop. They are gonna look super, super cool. But yes, I was worried about the purple. I just continued through. Again, I've sped this up because you don't want to sit through this in real time. But I just continued through. Part of me was thinking we could multi-layer this. So you could really, because these are so deep, you could easily put 3, 4, maybe 5 layers of resin and have tons in there. So like right at the back on that very first layer, you could have your spider web, then a clear layer of resin, then a spider, and then a clear layer of resin, then another spider. I mean, because the mold is so deep, you totally could get away with something like that. And it did occur to me to do that. It also made me realize how long that would take. And yeah, you know me, guys, if I can get something done in a day, I am so much happier than if it takes me a week. But I do still think I might try something like that. I think it would be a really cool effect to have multiple layers of your images coming through somehow. I don't know, I think it would work. Once you've laid all of your tattoos face down, then it is time to soak them with a cloth. I am just using a flannel here. Again, you really do need quite a bit of water on them. You don't want to pour water in, but you do need to saturate that paper for it to let go of the tattoo, making sure that the tattoo is fully adhered to your resin. After about half a minute, like really not long at all, once you know, you can kind of like move them, and if they slip and slide, then you know it's time to peel them off. Now, I would definitely recommend sliding them off like I am here, purely because if you pull them straight up, there is a risk that some of that tattoo hasn't quite stuck, and then you're going to rip the tattoo away, and you don't want that. But I am loving them. I think, do you know what I think they remind me of? Comics. That's it. They remind me of like Marvel and all of those kind of comics. Wish I knew more. I wish I knew more on that, but I don't. Do you know what I mean? Like the graphic, they're so bold and graphic and in your face. That is what they remind me of, and I love them. I think they're so quirky and fun. Here is where it all kind of went wrong on the purple. You really can't see the top two. That was a fear I had, but I have decided to swap out those spiders. Now, if I'm honest, I wish I kept the one at the bottom. The spider at the bottom is big and it's bold and it's really visible, but I just got it in my head that it wasn't working with the purple. So I used some 99% isopropyl alcohol on a dry wipe, and it came off like a dream. Like it just literally wipes off. It's so easy to rectify a problem if you've made a mistake with the tattoo. Just use your alcohol, and I'm just going to put in some of these foils you would have seen in a previous video. Now that does take away, that does revert us back to my usual Halloween aesthetic, but I had to do something. I couldn't just stick with what I was seeing on those purples. Once I'd got everything where I wanted it, and those temporary tattoos had completely dried out. We want to make sure we don't put any resin in there until they are fully dry. It was time to put the second layer of resin in. Now these foils are just stunning. I got them from Amazon. I think they're absolutely beautiful. When I talk about my Halloween aesthetic, this is me. This is a bit of me. This is me all over. Everything about this I love. However, there's always a however in a Claire's Crafty Corner video. Because I'd already mixed up the resin for the second layer, I was stupidly impatient when it came to these. What I should have done was just stuck them down with a layer of UV resin. Just those foils. Stuck them down with a layer of UV resin, had them stuck in place before pouring the next layer. My impatient self said, no, it's fine. If I push them really hard, I'll shove them in. They'll just stay there. because of course they would, Claire. But yes, we got some lifting. They haven't been destroyed in any way. They're still gorgeous, but you can see when you look that they've kind of curled up, because of course they're not going to stay flat. What I should have done was get them staying flat. But because I'd already mixed up this big amount of resin for the second layer, I just went for it. But you know, lesson learned, never a mistake, always a lesson. The other thing to mention is I got some Amine blush. I got some more blush. I was a bit annoyed by it because I got some blush in a previous video. Now, weirdly, they're not all suffering this time. And it is literally, I think, just a tiny amount on the orange. So all of the oranges have the smallest, tiniest bit of blush in the center. And the reason I'm annoyed is because I did what I could to make sure that I didn't get blush this time, and it only happened on those three. It didn't happen on all of the others. In fact, it barely happened. But you know when you think, oh, you've worked out how to do something properly, and then all of a sudden you get blush on just 1 or 2 pieces? Like, if you're going to get blush, I would expect it to be on all 9, like it was on the original, like the apothecary bottle video. All 9 were affected. But this time around, it's like, why were you selective, Mr. Blush? Like, yes, it's a Mr. Why were you selective here? Why did you just choose 2 of the oranges and teeny bit on the third orange? It doesn't make any sense to me, guys. But anyway, that's a whole ramble on getting blush. Now, on these, I am using my tool here, and that is because this bat one had a ton of spill off. An absolute ton of spill off, and it needed something more drastic than just sandpaper. Unfortunately, that has left the edge a little bit meh, but the rest are perfection, like absolute perfection. No blush, no spill off, just beautiful. This one I love because the actual tattoo has a shadow in it, so it makes it look like the shadow is being formed on the white resin from the spider above. Does that make sense? I love them. Let me know what you think. I think they're creepy cool, but also fun and funky. Like really, really bright, colourful. Again, not something I would usually do, but I'm loving them. Let me know your thoughts. I did have to take a different path on the purple, and that's okay. I added all my keychains. I haven't yet made any like rope tassels. I'm not sure I would for these ones because they're a little bit more graphic, a little bit more Marvel comic kind of fun. I'm not saying they are Marvel in any way. We are not going to get a copyright strike on this, but that's what they remind me of. They are not inspired by Marvel. Let me know your thoughts, and I hope these have inspired you. If anything, they are the most perfect beginner resin as well, because they're just so simple. 2 layers, slap a tattoo in there or a foil. Job is done, and they're cool. I think they look super funky. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.